Let's talk about the big picture for the whole city, for the Bronx and all 5 boroughs in the fight against COVID. First, a good update. Vaccination doses in New York City since day one. From the beginning, more than 9.8 million vaccination doses and climbing every single day. Officially, it is 9,871,371 doses since the very beginning. Here's more good news. 71% of all adults in New York City have had at least one dose. 71%, better than the national average. And let's talk about our youngest New Yorkers who are eligible for the vaccine, the 12 to 17-year-olds. Already at least 226,000 12 to 17-year-olds have gotten at least one dose, and we're going to be putting a big effort into play to reach many more of them before school begins. So this is what makes a difference, vaccination. But we all know the Delta variant has thrown us a curveball, and we are really, really focused on fighting the Delta variant. So last week, I announced for our frontline healthcare workers in the public sector, health and hospitals, DOH, the COVID safety requirement. Simply show proof of vaccination or get tested every single week. And I said last week this was only the beginning and we would be climbing up the ladder, more mandates to come. Well, today is that day. On September 13th, the entire city workforce will be mandated under the COVID safety mandate to either get vaccinated, which is far preferable, or get tested once a week. Let's be clear why this is so important. This is about our recovery. This is about what we need to do to bring back New York City. This is about keeping people safe. This is about making sure our families get through COVID okay. This is about bringing back jobs, you name it. In September, everything's going to come together. September is the pivot point of the recovery. September is when many employers are bringing back a lot of their employees. September is when school starts full strength. September is when people come back from the summer. September is when it will all happen. And so on September 13th, which is the first full day of school, every single city employee will be expected to be either vaccinated or be tested weekly. This means everybody. This means, obviously, everyone who works in our schools, our educators and staff. It means the NYPD, the FDNY. It means all city agencies. It means people who work in offices and people who work on the front line. Everyone. Because September is when the rubber hits the road, and this is when we have to make the difference, and so this mandate will be in place. 2 groups of city employees will be starting sooner. Of course, we announced already health and hospitals and the frontline Department of Health workers, clinical workers. That's next week, August 2nd. The second group, August 16th, 45,000 city employees in congregate and residential settings, in settings where people literally are there living together in close proximity on an ongoing basis. That will be August 16th. So we're going to keep climbing this ladder and adding additional measures as needed, mandates and strong measures whenever needed to fight the Delta variant. Number one way to fight it is get vaccinated. We're proving it. This is the reason life is as good as it is in New York City right now, because we're above the national average in vaccinations, but we need to do more. We're also going to reinforce for all city government workers, starting on Monday, reinforcing very clearly, if you are unvaccinated, and you are a city employee, beginning on Monday, you must either wear a mask indoors at your work site at all times, or if you would prefer not to, you have to immediately go get vaccinated. This is very, very clear. We will have to, unfortunately, be very tough if a city government employee does not wear a mask indoors and they are unvaccinated. There unfortunately will have to be consequences, because we have to take seriously. If someone's unvaccinated, unfortunately, they pose a threat to themselves, but they also have a greater chance of spreading the disease. Now, my message to the private sector is go as far as you can go right now. Do what you can do. Private entities have the right to make a lot of choices. They have a lot of freedom. They can set their own rules. Each private sector employer needs to do what they believe is right, but I would strongly urge a vaccination mandate whenever possible, or as close to it as possible, at minimum requiring all your employees to get vaccinated or to do weekly testing. Now, to help make it easier for folks who have gotten vaccinated and want to be able to show that, or have gotten a negative test and want to be able to show that, New York City is, at this point, offering a new tool to help make it easier for New Yorkers. On August 2nd, we will debut the NYC COVID Safe app. And this app is simple and easy to use, allows you to keep track of vaccination or test results and have them available to show any employer or anyone else you need to. This is another tool. The NYC COVID Safe app will give New Yorkers another option. There's the state Excelsior Pass, that's valuable too. And of course, there's something as simple as a paper vaccination card. All these tools matter. Everything that helps people to keep track and to be held accountable is a good thing.